Hi, I am Brian Lowenberg, and I work in the Capital Programming Group at the RTA, and I'm one of the facilitators for the Priority Projects Technical Group, and wanted to share some details about what the group is working on. The Priority Projects list was developed as part of the current strategic plan, Invest in Transit, as a way to communicate the large capital needs of the region. The priority projects are key initiatives that the transit agencies would like to complete if a stable, dedicated capital investment program were available. The 10-year project cost for each priority project is the estimated cost of delivering the portion of the project realistically achievable in the next 10 years and is updated on an annual basis based on funding that has been granted for the project, changes in regional needs, and the cost to complete the projects. Over time, the 10-year need has continued to increase as the amount of capital funding in the region does not meet the annual needs. The priority project list fits into a middle ground between the 5-year capital program and the CMAP long-range plan. The 5-year capital program is adopted on an annual basis and amended quarterly and shows projects which the service boards intend to complete with available funds. The CMAP long-range plan shows regionally significant projects that the service boards intend to undertake in the longer term if funding becomes available. These projects are evaluated as part of the long-range plan and only include projects over $250 million unless they change capacity. Projects changing capacity are included with a $100 million budget and above. Based on this, you can see that the priority projects list fits in between these two processes. The current priority project list shows a regional need of over $35 billion, with just $4.3 billion available between 2022 and 2025 capital program. We can infer that if funding were to remain stable, there's over $26 billion in unfunded capital projects in the 10-year time horizon. The largest needs in the region include track and structure, modernization, and rolling stock. The biggest three needs by service board are, for CTA, the Red Purple Modernization Project, the Red Line Extension, and bond repayment, interest, and finance costs. For Metra, their largest projects include bridge replacement and repair, track improvements, and their fleet modernization plan. And finally, for PACE, the largest projects include fixed route bus replacement, capital bus maintenance, and pulse infrastructure. I also wanted to share a link to RTAMS, the Regional Transportation Authority Mapping and Statistic page, where there's a page dedicated to the 10-year priority projects. And as I bring it up on the screen here, you'll see this page includes details about the 10-year need, as well as the 5-year capital program. And the group will share with you the link to this page along with this video. So you can see the priority projects, the 10-year need, and the current funding amounts here. Let's return to the slideshow. Let's look at the overall planning process for capital projects from the bottom up on this slide. In the long term, service boards plan internally and share regionally significant projects with CMAP for approval and inclusion into the long-range plan, which is federally mandated. In the medium term, RTA's strategic plan has served as a place to communicate the regional needs and show the range of projects that could be funded in an unconstrained world, but was not bound by any formalized guidelines, and the projects included are not evaluated. In the short term, RTA and the service boards need to develop a 5-year capital program, which shows which projects are being undertaken based on the available funding. This process also has statutory requirements and is approved by RTA's board. The technical group is focused on medium-term phase of the planning and development of projects. Here we have the opportunity to leverage this part of the planning phase to better communicate with stakeholders, which projects will move from conceptual to funded, and in turn create an opportunity for stakeholders to provide feedback on the list and offer an evaluation stage for projects as required by state law. RTA is including an update to the 10-year priority projects list as part of the strategic planning process. In Invest in Transit, we were successful in producing a set of priority projects and have continued to update the list annually during budget season. We have made refinements to better account for changes on an annual basis. Having this set of priorities was very helpful in advocating for additional funding, including the Rebuild Illinois program, which included both state bonds as well as motor fuel tax, PAYGO funds, and most recently, the newest federal transportation authorization bill, which provides the region with almost a 40% increase in federal formula funds, and a number of new discretionary opportunities. We want to continue to build on the priority project list as a strong tool that we can collectively use in addressing the needs of our region. To that end, we are looking to undertake a process that will continue to build upon that list and better communicate the needs of the region in a consistent and transparent way. The process includes creating a set of guidelines that will be shared in the strategic plan that will guide updates to the list. Then the priority project list will be updated annually, starting with the 2024 budget that is put together in 2023. We have outlined some principles for the process. First, the priority project list should be better connected to other regional planning processes. For example, the regionally significant project list in On to 2050, and should show projects that are in queue for service boards to advance when funding is available. Secondly, the priority project list should incorporate the transparent prioritization process and criteria required by state legislation. And lastly, the priority project list should incorporate the recommended goals, strategies, and performance measures developed by the stakeholder working groups from the strategic plan and apply them to capital project selection and advancement. We've set out a plan that looks to discuss which types of projects are presented in the list of priority projects and how we can better show the order that projects will be advancing in the region. The results from this group will be a set of guidelines used as direction about how to update the 2024 list that the service boards will update during the 2023 budget season. We have set out a series of goals for the technical group to achieve over the next several weeks, aiming to determine which criteria should be used to include priority projects on the list, for example, budget, project classification, for example, maintenance versus expansion or ongoing versus fixed duration. Our next aim is to decide on methods of how to prioritize the projects that are on the list. Once these tasks are completed, we plan to draft a set of guidelines about the priority project list that will be in the new strategic plan and will guide future lists. Finally, we will aim to draft a high-level set of regional priorities, which will also be included in the plan and will be used as a guide for projects that get included in the priority projects list. Let's look at our timeline quickly before I wrap up. We have completed the first two meetings of our group, which included setting the stage and priority project definition. In the coming weeks, we will meet to refine the definition and then move on to the prioritization process. By the end of the summer, we hope to have draft guidelines completed that consider all the discussion and input from the previous weeks. Thanks for listening, and we'd be happy to address any questions about the ongoing process.